at the FM.
And just to let you know what California is all about, Mitch and I have created our own company, Expand Productions. We have figured out that to get just about anything done, you might as well just do it yourself. And so that's what we've done. And we're really excited. It's our first big production. And thank you all for coming. It really means a lot. Just to give you an idea, Mitch and I have been working together for about 5 years. He works all over the country. He's been doing very, very well. And we have met these other 3 comics in these past 5 years. And we've all kind of become a big group of friends. And a lot of times, comedians, especially with what's out there right now, don't get the credit they deserve. And these comics are really great. And they're well on their way to being very successful in many different aspects of the entertainment industry. And so that's why we brought them all here. They're volunteering their talents and their time, as is just about everybody else that you see running around here. And right now I'd just like to thank our families, especially, both of them, for the support and for all the help. Arnie with the sets, Mary with everything, my sisters, my mom, my brother, everybody for just helping me with this. It really means a lot. And all the rest of you, I believe, are probably friends and families of the Hedbergs. And thank you very much. And here we go.
I think what right now what exists is like a breakfast conspiracy because you got the over commercialization of common grocery store cereals, and it has brainwashed everybody. I know there's not a person who I know who has a cabinet full of cereals that I would do. You know, I'm not going to do cereal. They're fucking. You got gimmicks like prizes at the bottom of the box, and it has turned people into zombies because it makes them reach for these boxes. I'm supposed to go insane for Cocoa Puffs. You know, they use more. They use cuckoo, but they're implying that I'm supposed to go insane for the cereal, and I'm not gonna. I don't want to shop at Alpha Beta or Ralph's or Safeway or any of those for my cereal because they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about integrity. It's all about sales, man. If a certain cereal is seen on TV every day and is liked by millions, they stock it because it's a sure bet. But if it's something they haven't heard of or something that they don't see on Saturday morning TV, they're not going to have the shit. I know it's just cereal, you know. I know it's just cereal, but it irks me, and I take it too seriously sometimes, I think. I'm a little self-serious, I get into it, but there's some really good cereals out there, man. Delicious and independent, and that's what counts. They're independent. But you have to know this. I almost feel like I have to tell people that they don't have to buy the corporate cereals because people have no idea how much of those sales actually goes to the man, and the cereal makers themselves get shit. You know, they might make $1 million, but if they make $1 million, that means the corporation is making billions. And money's cool too. I'm not against money. You know, that's bullshit. People, some of my friends, they try to act like they don't like money, but you know, I love money, and I think it's cool if you do make money, but do it in a way that's personal.
I'm home.
Yeah.
Come on.
Stop at the grocery store.
Yeah, I got you some cereal here. Some cornflakes, Cocoa Puffs. What's wrong?
You know I don't like. That's not for me.
Everybody likes cornflakes.
No, you're that's,
Well, my ex-boyfriends ate them.
that's what I hate. I hate getting in fucking relationships because there always comes a time when what two people agree on is not nearly as much as what two people disagree on. And you know I don't like those.
It's cereal. Everybody likes it. How could you not like it?
Look at this shit.
It's healthy.
It's fucking healthy.
And for sugar, if you want some sugar.
This is not. Is this? Are you trying to like torment me or some shit?
This is good
not. I
stuff.
don't think this shit's funny.
Everybody I know
Ever since
eats
you got
this.
the fucking belly pierced, you think that you're just like on the hip tip, but this is some bullshit fucking
This
cereal.
is good stuff.
This is fucking bullshit, Joanne.
I've never seen you act this way. I can't.
Maybe it's not her fault. Maybe she really is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mitch Hedberg.
Okay, not a lot of people laughed at that shit, but that's all right. That's all right. That's what this show's about. People who don't laugh at me. So that's what we're all here. This is something's messed up. Tech, turn that shit off. So this is a good night tonight. This is like a show that I created with my friends, and I'm just very proud to do this show for everybody. And I did a radio interview today. Anyone hear me on Rev 105? Yeah. Oh shit. That was not too funny, you know. It's hard to be funny on the radio. You gotta promote the show and throw a few jokes in, you know. It just don't sound right, you know. I did a radio interview in Nashville last week. I walk into the studio, the DJ's first question is, "Who are you?" I had to think, you know, is this guy really deep, or did I drive to the wrong station? What is that guy talking? I mean, it's got to be shut off. He's going to ruin the show, man. I know he's got a lot to say, but tell him to shut the fuck up. We got a show to do. Apparently, he's had a big day. He wants to let everybody know, but he's a babble mouth. He's a heckler. A lot of radio stations that use their frequency number to count down the days of summer, like FM 107 will celebrate the 107 days of summer. You know, AM stations can't do this. We're AM 1610, celebrating the 1610 days of the next 4.5 years. It's going to be a long party. Go slow. You know what dead air on the radio is? Dead air is a situation when there's no music playing, there's no DJ talking, there's no commercial, it's just dead air. Dead air on TV is me and two of my buddies as contestants on Jeopardy. Transportation is a good way to get around. I flew to Guam recently to open up for Tommy Chong. 20,000 frequent flyer miles, I got a free ticket. I was looking for a souvenir for my mom when I was in Guam, something that was kind of Guam-esque. All I could find was like a toothpick holder that said Guam. Yeah. Not cultural enough. I got her a gift certificate. Everybody wants to say that they smoked a joint with Tommy Chong. 500 people, 4 shows, everyone there wants to get Tommy Chong high. I didn't smoke a joint with Tommy Chong. I smoked a joint with a guy who smoked a joint with Tommy Chong. That's kind of cool. I was on the Greyhound in 1993. I rode the Greyhound for 6,000 miles. You know, that's a long time to be on the Hound. I wish I had a frequent traveler program, just like the airlines. Like you accumulate 20,000 miles, you get a certificate. Says you're fucking insane. I got scammed by the bus driver. He asked me for gas money. And I fell for it, you know. I walk a lot. I'm a walker. As you can see, I'm pacing the stage. Whenever I don't walk, I find I end up in one spot. And whenever I walk in a strange town, I always walk by a stranger. It's inevitable. When I walk by a stranger, I always say hello, because I'm gregarious. A lot of times they don't say anything back. It's very awkward. And I figured out these are the same people who call me and hang up. I walk by people who try to hand me out flyers, you know. When someone tries to hand me out a flyer, it's kind of like they're saying, here, you throw this away. Very nice. That's very theater-like of you. When I walk, people call me a pedestrian. That's a stereotype. I'm no damn pedestrian. I excel to be much more. I was walking down the sidewalk and a guy in a car drove by and he waved. It's like, fuck, you can't do that. You're not in a float. When I'm walking, people flash me the peace sign. You know, it's cool to flash the peace sign, but it's even cooler to express peace verbally. Hey, brother. 2. Peace is a hard concept. I was home last week at my apartment. It's a one-room apartment, studio. When people come over, I like to give them a tour. It helps loosen up their neck. I got a window because I'm not doing time. I heard a gunshot, and then I saw 2 guys run by my window, so I was going to call the police. Then I got optimistic. I said, hey, maybe it's just a race. Yeah, there's a lot of late-night track and field events by my house. Nocturnal jocks. I have a sliding glass door, has a sticker, says warning, alarm system. It's a real simple alarm, too. It consists of a sticker. If I'm going to threaten people with words, I should be more intense than an alarm system, like, warning, no air inside, quicksand, and a monster. I was born here in Minnesota, that's right. When I was 18, I was sick of Minnesota, so my friend Tim and I, Tim Schleck, the photographer, at the time he wasn't a photographer, he was a temporary worker. We toured the country working temporary joints. Nothing right. We were proud. We got to like remove plastic tabs from bottles and throw them in a cardboard box for 8 fucking hours. Yeah, we packed up Tim's Volare back in about 1987. We moved from Minnesota to Florida. And we wanted to move to Texas, but the front end alignment was bad. Hooked up with a roommate down there. His name was Eddie Carnevale. He really exists. He's a true guy. He's slow on the mental draw. And I was writing a letter one night. I had a problem. I said, Eddie, how do you abbreviate Arkansas? He said, I don't know. You start spelling it, then quit. Yeah, he had a toothbrush with his name on it. It said Eddie. I was going to put an F and an R in front of it. I didn't think he'd get it, you know. 2 weeks later, he would have had cavities, I know it. Big-ass bandage around his head. Who the fuck's Freddie? Like, we had a dining room table with 4 dining room chairs. We had some people over for lunch, and 2 of the chairs collapsed while people were sitting in them. Eddie started eating quicker. We had a refrigerator, of course, and there was a hard-boiled egg inside the refrigerator, and the shell was starting to crack. Eddie's first remark was, man, this guy is a survivor. He was playing music one night. We love music. He put a cassette into the cassette deck. I said, Eddie, man, good choice, Rod Stewart. Eddie said, no, it's a new group. They sound just like him. They're called Maxell. So I got their whole collection. I got a brand new unopened copy of their latest release. Eddie said, let's play it, so we did. Eddie said, turn it up. I got whiskey and you guys don't, fuck you. No, just kidding. I got some water like everybody. Like, Eddie's the kind of guy, if you were walking down the street with him and a car pulled up and 2 guys got out with guns and said, hey, we're gonna kidnap you, Eddie would say, shotgun. I pushed it too far. Too many Eddie jokes, man. Fine. You can only do 4. 4 to 5, maybe. I live in Los Angeles right now. I live with Jana. She's a very good friend of mine. You know, very nice. Treats me like a king. About 3 years ago, she gave me a friendship card. It was a lot like a birthday card. On the front of it, it said, a friend is one of life's most beautiful gifts. And inside the card, it had all these great quotes about friendship. You know, it really touched me. Got me thinking, maybe I should quit stealing money out of her purse. But I couldn't, because her birthday was coming up. So, no, I'm fucking around. I don't do that. Financially, I'm set for life. If I'm shot tomorrow. Yeah, I'm self-indulgent. You know it. I was in a band for 7 years. It was a death metal band. People either loved us or they hated us, or they thought we were okay. A lot of death metal bands have intense names like Rigor Mortis, or Mortuary, or Obituary. We weren't that intense, so we just went with Injured. Later on, we changed it to Acapella as we were walking out of the pawn shop. We became a death metal barbershop quartet. We kicked ass, took preliminaries in Brainerd. Because that's where they're held, you know. Imagine if like a vacuum store attracted the same clientele as a guitar store. Things would be different. Because for the most part, your customers would consist of broke punks who just want to run the new vacuums. Not a dime in their pocket. You have uptight salesmen, get your hands off the Kirby. Long-haired Jews with shirts that say, Hoover. Hoover sucks. To offer lessons to the young would-be vacuumers. You're going to start out, you start out on the Dust Buster. All right. Don't be reaching for the Red Devil 6.0 amp right away. You got to learn basics before you go for that flash, you shit. Don't be trying to vacuum the drapes either. Start with the rug. I wrote a script because I'm a writer, so I wrote a script and I gave it to a guy who reads scripts. He read it, he said he really likes it, but he thinks I need to rewrite it. I said, fuck it, I'll just make a copy. I'll go to Kinko's, because Kinko's is my favorite copy center if I had to pick one, because they're open 24 hours, and that's great. Like if it's 5 a.m. and then I decide I need 2 or something, I'm covered. I hate going to towns where there's no Kinko's. All night long I worry. I hate to work the third shift at a Kinko's, the graveyard shift. About 1 a.m. you'd have to deal with the bar rush. You know how it is, last call. Where's everybody going? Kinko's. If you meet a girl, you think you don't have to go to Kinko's tonight, but she wants to duplicate. Shit. A bunch of obnoxious drunks coming in, smoking, spilling toner. Yeah. Shit, I'm out of material already, damn. Man, I went to a store that specialized in hard-to-find records and tapes. Nothing was alphabetized. I was looking for that Michael Jackson E.T. disc. The lady said, "Can I help you?" I said, "Hell yeah. You start over there, I'll start over here. Meet you halfway." What are you looking for? Autograph? Little autograph reference, I had to drop it. So no one gives a shit. One of my favorite bands from the 80s. Yeah, I used to wait in line to get into concerts, to get tickets for concerts, sit outside the Met Center for about 7 days. And then I realized the show is general admission. I'll be damned. I don't know. I was looking for some glue recently. I was shopping for glue. But all this one store had was super glue. Found it way too overwhelming. They didn't have any like pretty good glue. And I don't want to hang from a steel beam. I just want to put some shit back together. I don't even own a hard hat, you know. But my dad does, and he's here tonight. Arnie, you get a big round of applause for Arnie. Yeah, all right. See? That's why I like having a lot of family here, because if there's no applause breaks, I can just bring up a family member. Give Mary. No, just hold on to that one. I might need that later. Wait, hold on. Hold on. See, this is a comedy show to a degree, but most of the people here are the same people who gave me money when I graduated. It's kind of a forced thing, all right. We'll spend the $7 for Mitch's little show. We support him, whatever. You know what I'm doing with that money, too. We tried to act like this theater cost us money. Fuck, no, they donated this shit to it. We're all going to be in Hawaii next week. California Roll goes Caribbean. I don't know. Fuck, I fucking fucked that up. I should have thought about it before I went on. I tried to be real funny spontaneously when I failed. I'm pretty improvisational. Like all the stuff I'm saying right now is coming off the top of my head. Like that last sentence I didn't rehearse. And that antidote to the sentence was not rehearsed. I think a lot of people wear leather jackets. You know, I never owned a leather jacket. Never in my life. One time I walked into a restaurant, I spotted a guy, he was wearing a leather jacket. At the same time, he was eating a hamburger and drinking a glass of milk. I just stared at him. I had to make a comment about his complete cow dependency. He started falling asleep, so I tipped him over. I was almost in the applause break. Let's hear it for Mary. No, hold it. Just hold it. You just hold it, you son of a bitch, because they would not pay to get in because you're in trouble. I tell you, I was looking for some M&Ms. I used to love M&Ms. I bought M&Ms all the time. I was addicted to those little candies. But then I switched to aspirin. Because I find if you hand your friend 2 aspirin, he doesn't look at you like you're selfish. And we're on TV tonight, you know it, cable access. That's going to be a kick-ass show. We're going to be on TV. I'm a big star on cable access. I've been on many times. A lot of people might recognize me. Cable access. I love it. I was shopping for some pencils recently because pencils help me write. I bought a couple pencils. I brought them up to the register. The cashier said they were running a special. With every purchase, you got a free pencil sharpener. So I took my gift home. A couple weeks later, I was grinding down my last pencil. I went back for 2 more. The cashier said, don't forget the free sharpener. I said, fuck you. I fell for that one last time. They tried to scam me, but they can't. Because I'm clever. I tell you, man, it's a scam. Like, I ordered a t-shirt from a beer company called Pete's Wicked Ale. Like, the t-shirt, it was a mail order t-shirt. They sent them a certificate. My t-shirt was going to have the Pete's Wicked bottle on the front, and my name, Mitch, was going to be on the back. But it's been a long time. I haven't received the shirt. Funny thing is, my postman has a very similar shirt. Back of his, it says, Mitch is on my route. I get hungry about 3 times a day, which is perfect. I want to open up a chain of pizza restaurants because I love pizzas. I want to open up a chain of like Mitch's Pizzeria nationwide. I don't excel at making pizza. I just think Pizza Hut is cocky and they need to be taken out. They're advertising that they're going to accept all competitors' coupons. So if Mitch's Pizzeria was going on, I'd print up a coupon that said, unlimited free pizza. Special note, coupon not good at any of the Mitch's Pizza locations. Free pizza oven with purchase of a small Coke. Well, I'm just going to quit now. Maybe come up between the acts and do a couple more jokes by popular demand. I'm selling t-shirts after, so you want to buy a t-shirt, I'll be right back there. They don't have my name on them. They're just Hanes 3-packs. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to bring up the next act, man. This guy, I met him. Let's just make this like a show that has like all the right breaks. So, like, just for the hell of it, applaud for me like I just did a great job. Very well. The show is working out well. We're very excited to do this show. It's like we didn't rehearse it or anything, as you can tell, and we're going to bring this next guy out. I met this gentleman in Wichita, Kansas, and since then I've been a lot of places with him. We've toured many different locations. I'm trying to think if anything I can tell you about him, like that's kind of personal. Oh yeah, he's very much into the anti-government stance. He wants the government to tell him about UFO crashings and stuff like that. But then when you ask him about a girlfriend, he goes, I'm not telling you. Trivial information he won't reveal, but he wants the government to let out the big ones. But that's true. Brian Malow, ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Mr. Brian Mallow's video. Here it comes. All right.
it's really hard to eat well when you're on the road, especially during the actual physical traveling. I'd like to eat well, but the most convenient thing to do is just to hit a drive-through, and I end up at McDonald's a lot. And I have weird feelings about that because I think McDonald's, Coca-Cola, for instance, they're very well-respected American companies. And what they serve is unnutritious, it's fatty, it's greasy, it clogs up your arteries. And I love it. That's the thing that kills me. It's like, I'm reminded of Joan Jett. I hate myself for loving you. You didn't know Joan Jett was such a philosopher, but she nailed it right there. And all these companies, McDonald's, for instance, make these claims that their food is healthier, just because everyone is so conscious of eating better now. Like Kentucky Fried Chicken, they don't want to even be called Kentucky Fried Chicken, they want to be KFC. They're not changing their product, they just want you to be known by their acronym, whatever. And I hate that, when you see like packaged meat or something, and it says 97% fat-free, to me, all I hear in my head is 3% pure fat. I might be a dumb consumer, but I can subtract. It's so popular to come down on drugs these days, but, there's worse things for you. If the government really cared about our health, why don't they regulate the fat content of food, Bacon would be a Schedule II controlled substance. Kids would be selling Twinkies in back alleys. Because a quarter pounder will kill you quicker than a joint. You'll be fat, I'll have the munchies. But I won't go to McDonald's, that's suicide. My love-hate relationship with McDonald's goes way back to the first McDonald's was in Des Plaines, Illinois, and that's the Chicago suburb that I was born in. So it goes back to my birth. We've been connected since then. And sometimes when I'm driving, I actually eat in my car. I'll pick up my food to go, and I'll get on the road and I'll go. And then, a little while down the road, I think you should have the right to use the bathroom at the next McDonald's. Because I ate at the last one, hey, I don't have to be obligated to buy something at your store. In fact, even if I didn't just come from a McDonald's, every American, you know how many times I've eaten at McDonald's? I should always be able to come in and use the bathroom. That should be every American citizen's right. There's so many McDonald's on the American highway system that you could actually pass one by, decide not to eat there, change your mind, and not even have to turn around. One thing that definitely deserves further study is the thermodynamic properties of the McDonald's hot apple pie. They've actually redesigned it. If you remember, it didn't used to be vented, but it is now for safety reasons because whatever they make these out of, it's the most perfect insulating material that, NASA should be looking into this if they didn't develop it themselves. At the end of your meal, even though it's been sitting in your bag for 10 minutes, you still burn the shit out of the inside of your mouth. Once we figure out the properties of this material, I think that these could have a lot of uses. I think they could be used for some type of thermal bricks in homes. Homes made out of these would have very good heat retention properties. They could be used on campfires, for instance, or in place of campfires. You're on a camping trip, carry these along for a while, crack one open, warm your hands over it. I don't know, self-defense, somebody tries to attack you, just break that open and you're armed right there. I guess I blew my chance at a McDonald's corporate sponsorship. Yeah, what if it's worse than that? What if I'm barred from McDonald's nationwide and behind the counters from Ocala, Florida to Des Moines, Iowa, they've got pictures of me, and if I try to come in and buy a burger, busted. The only man in America who can't eat at McDonald's. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Malow.
Thank you very much. It's a little intimidating to see your face blown up that big, isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm the only one whose face was blown up that big. But it is, and especially from the side, it looked like I had this narrow, skinny little head. It was frightening, especially when I took that bite out of that burger. All right.
But I gotta say, I'm very proud to be part of this show. It makes me feel very good about my career because it's a risky thing doing a job like this. And sometimes, like I was just back in Texas visiting my family, and sometimes I feel a little guilty about how my career is progressing compared to a lot of my peers. Like I got a friend, Eric, who owns his own computer company. And he now employs 60 people. He has 60 people working. I don't have any employee. I don't have anyone working for me. You know, or well, me, and I'm only part-time. It starts to get to you after a while. In the course of this career, too, I have put so many miles on my car. I've put 265,000 miles on my car. That's more than 10 times around the globe. That's more than the distance from here to the moon. If my car would have made that trip, I'd be 15,000 miles on my way back. If there was a road, I could have done it. It's ridiculous. And I have a terrible sense of direction. All my life I've had a bad sense of direction. And I think I finally figured out why. I have a theory anyway. I think it's because I was a Cesarean birth. Let me explain. Picture, if you will, there I am, 9 months in the womb. It came time to leave. I started heading for the exit, which was clearly marked. Suddenly, there's a shaft of light from behind me. Two of the biggest hands I've ever seen are pulling me this way. I'm going, it's this way. They're going, no, this way. I'm going, I'm sure this is where I came in. I know it's been 9 months, but that's the damn exit right there. I'd recognize that anywhere. You don't see one of those every day. Or I don't. Spending so much time in my car, I have a lot of time to ponder those important questions like how come we have a minimum age limit for licensed drivers, but we don't have a maximum age limit? You ever glance over and the driver next to you is decomposing? Like the Sphinx, he's hunched over the wheel, racing to make his destination before his nose erodes and falls from his face. You know, and I don't mean to be cruel, but if you can barely operate a walker, you shouldn't be barreling down the highway in a heavily armored Cadillac. Miatas and Geometros are splashed like bugs on their windshield. The charred remains of a rear-ended Pinto smoldering on the grill. And they're always straddling both lanes of the highway like they're just gonna follow the dotted line all the way to Florida. It's a mass migration of elderly to the Sunshine State. And they always have those same sunglasses on, too. You know what I'm talking about? You know what's in fashion for seniors and sunglasses? It's those big, black, Terminator style. I don't know. They wrap around their entire head. My God, are you going to be driving or arc welding? Are you going to be viewing a solar eclipse? Do I need protection? Remember when sunglasses just had to cover, you know, your eyes, basically? As long as my eyes were covered, I never worried about light getting in the side of my head. So all this time I spent alone in my car, I've sort of developed a rapport with road signs. Because, you know, you see the sign speaks to you, and I speak back to the sign. A couple signs have been on my mind recently. In Colorado, I saw a sign I've never seen anywhere else. It said, "Gusty winds may exist." It sounds so philosophical, doesn't it? Gusty winds may, you just want to pull over and ponder that. Gusty winds may exist. I got news for you, they do exist. In fact, that's where we get the phrase, gusty winds. And school zone speed limit signs, they have way too much information on them. You ever notice you pull into a school zone? It says, school zone, speed limit, 20 miles an hour. Then in smaller letters, 7:45 to 9 a.m., 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. By the time you've read the sign, you have hit the children. You know, honey, is it one? Are we supposed, is it, what was that? I don't know, but keep going. Get the hell out of that school zone. Deer crossing signs have the right idea. They don't even have any words. They just have that same action photo. Yeah, you got the actual deer leaping across the sign. When have you ever seen a deer look like that? Unless it was flying over the hood of your car. You don't see pedestrian crossing signs with little pedestrians splattered across the sign. Pedestrians may exist. I had a weird experience. I was driving in Colorado recently and I hit a bird. And do you ever feel guilty about all the things we kill in our cars? You know, just not only just bugs and birds, but you got dogs and cats and deers and cows and turtles and armadillos, despite their shells. People, in that order, that's how I rank them. But the thing about birds is, if you have wings, you really have no excuse for being hit by a car. It's kind of hard to be sympathetic, you know? You have no business down on this level. It's dangerous down here, trust me. This bird, you know, was in the clear. He was pretty high up. He came swooping, I was on the highway. He came swooping down in front of me, made it about 3/4 across the front of my car, and then he met my bumper. And the thing is, if I had been going 65 instead of 75, I think that's all the edge he might have needed. I think he was banking on the fact that I'd be doing the speed limit. And then I had a weird experience. On that same trip, I stopped at a rest area to go to the restroom, coincidentally. And when I came back out to my car, there was this little bird, this little tiny sparrow, you know, unlike those gigantic sparrows that you sometimes see. This was a little tiny sparrow. He was in front of my car, and he was jumping up and eating bugs out of the grill of my car. And I thought that was so bizarre. That was like he has found a niche. I don't know if any other birds have discovered this, but this bird has realized that he doesn't need to waste his time and energy hunting down bugs because a fresh load is coming in every few minutes. And they're still warm on the grill. You got a nice array, you got a very nice selection there. It's all you can eat. Come on, guys, let's go. It's so weird. I wonder if he's teaching it to other birds so it'll go down the generations, you know? I'm trying to eat better myself. I've been drinking a lot of water lately. In fact, one night I had 2 glasses of water up on stage with me, and a guy yelled out, "Who's the second glass of water for?" So I said, "My imaginary friend." And he said, "Why don't you get him an imaginary glass of water?" I said, "Because he's really thirsty." I noticed a long time ago, whenever my mom would lose weight, my dad would gain weight. And when my dad lost weight, my mom gained weight. It was like the conservation of mass within our family. I had this theory that you never actually lose weight, you just give it to somebody else. Fat can be neither created nor destroyed. It's one of the basic laws of the universe. One time my dad's love handles got so big, they just broke off. My theory didn't predict that. I think I got my sense of humor from my dad. My dad's the kind of guy that would walk up to a kid in a leper colony and go, "Got your nose." He once said to an epileptic, "What's shaking?" That's not the right thing to say. That's not politically correct. My mom's pretty funny. My mom used to always tell me to stand up straight. Do you ever get that? I'm always very conscious of my posture because of that. She stand up straight. Do you ever get that from your mom? Stand up straight. That's such a mom thing to say. I think moms have been telling their kids that longer than we realize, perhaps even to pre-human days. What if that was the driving force behind the evolutionary trend to walk erect? Mothers nagging their children up the evolutionary ladder. Stand up straight. Don't drag your knuckles when you walk. What are you, born in a tree? You want the other families to think we're not evolving? I used to always hate it when my parents made me go to bed early. You know, I would always fight about it and lose. But on my way to my room, I'd say something like, "Well, you can make me go to my room, but you can't make me go to sleep." And that probably would have been true, except my dad was an anesthesiologist. One shot of sodium pentothal and I was out like a light. My mom would come up a couple hours later and tuck me in, you know, check the IV and the EKG. It took more than an alarm clock to get me up in the morning. I have a theory about alarm clocks, too. I don't think the people who make alarm clocks even want us to get places on time, because the snooze button is by far the largest feature on the alarm clock. You know, if you hit the nightstand, you'll probably hit the snooze button. You don't even have to open your eyes. As soon as it goes off, seek and destroy. And that's only the half of it. The real challenge is to return to that deep REM sleep before it goes off again 9 minutes later. And it's always 9. Where do they come up with a 9-minute standard? Couldn't they just round up to 10? Damn it. It's very difficult to fall back asleep when you're trying to calculate the next 9-minute interval. Do you do that? Because you got to know, right? 9:09, 9:18, 9:27, 9:36, 9:45, 9:54, 10:03, 10:12, 10:21, 10:30. I know every multiple of 9 through infinity. It's not just an alarm clock, it's an educational tool. It wakes you up and sharpens your math skills. The longer you sleep, the better your math gets. You know, by midday, you're a fully rested idiot savant. I think we should have random snooze alarms. You hit it, you might get 3 minutes, you might get 4.5 hours. That would add the element of risk to your morning. Whoa, Thursday, shit. I was supposed to be at work Tuesday. Well, snooze. And now a word about feline existentialism. I know we humans have a tendency to anthropomorphize, to project our feelings and attributes upon other creatures, even inanimate objects. But having said that, I still believe cats are very profound creatures and more philosophically oriented than we ever give them credit for being. For instance, the other day, my cat, Damien was in a funk. He was moping around the apartment, wandered out onto the patio, came back in, walked into the kitchen and stirred his food around a little. Then he came over, rubbed up against my legs, looked up at me with these hopeful eyes, and emitted this plaintive meow, meow, which I think could be interpreted literally. I think he was saying, me-ow, I hurt. Life is painful and meaningless, all hairballs and tapeworms. Me-ow, he said. I'm itchy and scratchy and neutered and dry food sucks. Me-ow, he cried. Me-ow, why was I created if only to endure this? Life is a litter box and it needs to be changed. Me-ow, he said. And with those simple words, I think he was trying to express a very complex emotion, despite having a limited vocabulary and no concept of syntax. He's followed in the footsteps of Kafka and Camus, even though he has twice as many feet. Damien, the first feline existentialist. Damien. You can't really blame Damien for his morbid worldview, because about 3 years ago we moved to Los Angeles, and there's a lot of crime there. I've been very conscious of crime since I've been there. In fact, carjacking is one crime in particular. Are you familiar with carjacking? For those of you who don't know, carjacking is when they steal your car despite the fact that you're still driving it. That's just rude where I come from. And sometimes they don't even bother to ask you for the car. They just kill you and take it. Like, man, I would have given you the car. Here's my wallet. Drive me back by my place. I got other shit you might like. You did not have to kill me. I can't believe they would just kill you and push you out into the street. Yeah. Or into the passenger seat so they can make their getaway in the carpool lane. Meow. Yeah, I was almost mugged one night. I live in Hollywood, and I came home late one night. I turned around the corner of this building, and a guy with a gun goes, "Give me all your money." I said, "I don't have all of it with me." And he was not prepared for that answer. Got this glazed look in his eye, little wrinkled brow, and I hauled ass, "Run away!" I think that sends a message out to criminals that if you're going to continue to steal and cheat and rob, you're going to have to be more precise in your language. I love language. I love words, colorful expressions. Like, I love those phrases, a gaggle of geese, a parliament of owls, a murder of crows, a sleuth of bears, a bunch of assholes. I love those. One time I was getting on a bus and I asked a guy, "Can I sit here?" And he said, "No skin off my back." Isn't that a weird phrase? Where did that phrase come from? How did that become part of our vocabulary? I can't even imagine a social situation where that would be the proper response. Unless you were in like 13th century Spain, shackled to the cold stone walls of a subterranean dungeon. You're being whipped and flogged. Your torturer says, "Mind if I take a break?" You go, "Hey, no skin off my back." Why else would you say that? I heard that. That's a big southern phrase. I heard that. Yeah, well, that's because I said it. I say it, you hear it. You say it, I hear it. It's called a conversation. Pretty basic. How many people here have children? By applause. How many people here have children by sexual intercourse? Just for, We don't know how you other people do that. Twins, just like that. That is amazing. I saw a commercial for a spermicide the other day, and I always have thought that was a funny word. Spermicide, you know. We got homicide, pesticide, herbicide. Spermicide, it just sounds like something you would need if your home were infested with sperm. Imagine walking down to the kitchen for a midnight snack. You flip on that kitchen light. Holy shit, there's sperm everywhere, honey! Honey, get the spermicide! We got a sperm rodeo down here in the kitchen. I don't know if they fly. Look at the size of that thing. My God. They're doing the wave. If you run out of spermicide, you lay out little traps with sponges. Little sperm motels. You know. They check in, but they don't check out. Yeah. You know, way before comedy, I was always a big fan of music. And I like a variety of musical styles, but I'm just a little bit leery of anyone whose album is not available in any store. You know what I'm talking? It's always a big selling point, not available in any stores. Well, you know what? If your album is not available in any stores, there's probably a very good reason. It's probably a piece of shit. I mean, I always thought the idea was to get it into a couple stores. Maybe then we'd be impressed. And my favorite TV album guy is Zamfir. Do you know Zamfir? Yeah, he's master of the pan flute. Matt, that you mock Zamfir? You laugh? Perhaps you play a little pan flute? Maybe you took lessons in high school, think you could take Zamfir on in a pan flute competition? Forget it, because Zamfir's master of the pan flute. The man can wail on a pan flute. Until you've heard him play Freebird, you haven't lived. Zamfir. That's pretty ridiculous. Nobody else even plays the pan flute. He could suck and be master of the pan flute. In the commercial, they only show him from the waist up. It's because he's half goat. No wonder he's mastered the pan flute. He's a mythological creature. He's had thousands of years. I mastered the kazoo in a weekend, and my album's not available either. And now, you know who has the newest TV album? I just saw a commercial for John Denver. Yeah, not available in any stores. Finally. How many people were waiting for that day that you could walk into a store and not hear John Denver? And it's got all your favorites, you know, Rocky Mountain High, Colorado, Country Roads. Remember Country Roads? That was kind of a strange song. You ever listen to the words to that? Country Roads, Take Me Home, West Virginia, Mountain Mama. How do you fit that little piece of his personal life in there? One minute he's singing about West Virginia, and the next minute he's mounting his mama. Personally, I don't think it has any place. Here's a beautiful song about a country lane, and the next minute he's talking about his incestuous relationship with his mother. Meanwhile, Tom Petty can't even say the word joint on MTV or VH1. John Denver's mounting his mama on every easy listening station from coast to coast. What kind of censorship policy is that? That'll be my social comment for the evening. I saw on Nick at Night, I saw the Chipmunks' greatest hits advertised, not available. The weird thing about the Chipmunks is that none of their albums was ever available in any stores. I'm also a big fan of the space program. I think Mitch might have suggested that a little bit before, but I think it's an amazing accomplishment that we've set men on the moon. But even more amazing was Neil Armstrong's self-control. Because there he is, first human ever to step foot on the moon. And do you remember his first famous words? It's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. Very well composed, carefully chosen words for such an exciting moment. You know, if I had been the first man on the moon, I don't think I would have had such composure. After traveling 250,000 miles, I would have been out of that lunar lander going, woo, I'm on the fucking moon! Woo, come in NASA, I am on the fucking moon! I would be taking laps around the lunar lander, high-fiving myself. The Eagle has landed on the fucking moon. We copy that, Eagle. I said it! I'd be picking up souvenir moon rocks, one for my dad, one for my mom, one for NASA. NASA's going, Roger, Brian, 5 minutes to blast off, time to return to the capsule. Yeah, fucking make me. Come and get me, NASA. I'd be calling all my friends. Hey, Mitch, what are you doing, buddy? Huh? Uh-huh, cool. Me, nothing. I'm just on the fucking moon. Yeah, in fact, I'm calling collect. Thanks a lot, you guys. You've been a lot of fun. I'm Brian Malow. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Let's give it up for Brian Malow. We're now
If you're the kind of person who'd rather tune an engine than eat, who reads a tachometer like a love story, or whom the roar of fully blown horsepower is a lullaby, have we got a machine for you. And in the hands of the right mechanic, it'll blow the doors off anything. Aim high, Air Force.
Thank you. We don't have the bugs worked out of the show. So a lot of my friends are out here, and my third grade teacher, Mrs. Finke's at the show. I wanted to autograph her program. I had to ask her how to spell guidance. She provided me with a lot of guidance, but I guess the English hadn't. Perhaps maybe it was my own problem. I don't know. English tends to fade first. But that's all right. I want to bring out a special guest. He's the man, the photographer for this show. He's also got, during the intermission, his pictures were being displayed. He's a very good friend of mine. I've done so much with him, just traveling and sleeping on beaches and taking showers on the ocean showers. You know, we were the only ones using soap. You know. Everyone else is just getting the sand out of their toes. We're cleaning up. But he's a very good friend of mine, and he's a very good photographer. I'd like to bring him out just for a quick second. Mr. Tim Schlecht. How about a round of applause for Mr. Tim? A couple words you'd like to say?
Just thanks for coming and supporting it, you know.
That's bullshit. Come on. That was not good. But say something that you mean. Come on.
Have a good time, you know. That's all I'm doing.
Teal will be doing 20 minutes of comedy now. Ladies and gentlemen, to Tim Schlecht. He's selling some really cool photos out there. It's a sushi, because this is a California roll is the name of the show. It's a sushi theme, and he took some really cool pictures of some sushi that you might want to pick up. But I'm going to bring out now this next gentleman. His name is Chard Hogan. I met Chard in Seattle, and we hit it off, not right away, but somewhat after the first meeting. But we traveled in a van across the country, in a VW van, to go into comedy clubs trying to get work. And, you know, living in a van with another guy for 3 months can get on your nerves, but we survived, you know. We almost killed each other in Tempe, Arizona, but other than that, we made it. I love this guy, and this man's just very creative, and that's about all I got to say about him. Here's his video. This is Chard Hogan, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
I'll tell you why. just haven't earned it yet, baby. You just haven't earned it, son. You just haven't earned it yet, baby. You must suffer and cry for a longer time. You just haven't earned it yet, baby. And I'm telling you now, if you're wondering why, when all I wanted from life was to be famous, I have tried for so long, it's all gone wrong. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. But you wouldn't believe me. You just haven't earned it yet, baby. You just haven't earned it, son. You just haven't earned it yet, baby. You must suffer and cry for a longer time. Just haven't earned it yet, baby, and I'm telling you now. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Today I am remembering the time they pull me back and held me down and looked me in the eyes and said, you just haven't earned it yet, baby. You just haven't earned it, my son. You just haven't earned it yet, baby. You must stay on your own for slightly longer. You just haven't earned it yet, baby. And I'm telling you now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chard Balloon Man Hogan.
How are you guys? All right, two people. How are you guys? Come on. How are you guys? Respond a little bit. Perfect. That's what we want to hear. You know, it's actually great to be here, and I just want to thank Mitch so much because this is so fun, and everybody that put it together. And you know, we flew into Chicago actually, which was probably a huge mistake. Trying to save a little money, we went Southwest or a similar airline, and landed probably like 80 times, and then got to Chicago, had to drive. We drove in a car. Has anybody had to make that drive? If you have, you know what I've been through. Wisconsin. It was a drive. I don't, want to complain about driving or anything. I actually like it, and but it ends up kind of conflicting with the things you have to do. You get late for stuff and everything. As a matter of fact, let me just ask you this question. Have you ever been speeding through town, you run a yellow light, and the guy in front of you doesn't? Because there's a huge accident waiting for you if you do that. I actually did that in Seattle. The reason I was following the guy so closely in the first place, trying to figure out his bumper sticker, turns out it's a crossword puzzle. Yeah, it was very distracting. Never did find out how well I was doing on the puzzle either, partly because I crushed it so badly. Apparently the solution was on another bumper somewhere else in town. All right, more crossword puzzle humor, that's what we need. Oh, if you have bumper stickers on your cars too, please be aware that they're there, because I think sometimes people stick them on the backs of their cars and then they just forget about them. Because I was following this guy that had a bumper sticker that said, "Honk if you love Jesus." All right. Guy turns around, "Hey, shut up, pal. The light's not even green yet." Okay. Great. Thanks a lot. Nice fish on your car. IXOIE. Actually turned out to be pretty cool because when I pulled up at the next intersection, I realized it was the pastor of my church. And he recognized me too, so now we have a little deal worked out each week. Instead of putting money in the plate, I just take a little out. I'm getting my allowance from my heavenly Father. That's great. I have to travel a lot for this job, which is great. Mitch mentioned that we traveled in a van across the country, and we actually went to 33 of the United States doing auditions and so forth, traveling in a 1975 VW van. Found out I was making a mistake calling it a van, because on our way home, we're in Eugene, Oregon, very hippie town. I'm on stage talking about this, true story. Guy stands up in the middle of the show, and he goes, "Hey, Chard, it's not a van, it's a bus. It's a VW bus, man." He's got a big tie-dye shirt on, Birkenstocks, big long flowy hair. Well, actually, it was me. I was kind of having an out-of-body experience. I want to hug a tree. Very odd. I actually found this out, too. I didn't know this, but in many places in the United States, it's actually illegal to pick up hitchhikers. It's illegal, which is very confusing, because once you pick them up, they become passengers. How do you get arrested for this? Cop pulls up alongside you. Woo! Excuse me a second, sir. Is that a hitchhiker there in your car? No. He's not anymore. Well, and tell him to get his thumb back in the window. You see, the real trouble occurs when they continue to hitchhike once you've already picked them up, which is embarrassing. You're driving on the freeway, there's a guy in your passenger seat, and he's thumbing for a better ride. It's also illegal to hitchhike, which is redundant, but how do you get arrested for that? Cop can't really put you in his car, because then he's picking up a hitchhiker. And that's against the law. Traveling through Nevada, right in Nevada alongside the freeway, huge sign. It says, "Prison area, picking up hitchhikers strictly prohibited." Do you need a sign for that? I mean, if you're driving down the freeway and there's a guy on the side of the road in a striped suit, number on his chest, bare feet shackled together, are you gonna pick him up? And if you do, you deserve whatever happens to you, right? Then again, if that's illegal, how do you get arrested for that? Cop pulls up alongside you. Woo! Excuse me, driver. Are you an inmate? No. I'm not anymore. All right, everybody out of the van. Dude, it's a bus. Thank you very much. Hey, I'll tell you this is a little formula you can use when you're traveling on the freeways in the United States. Actually explains why old people drive so slowly. What you do is you take the number 100, subtract the driver's age, and that will equal the speed that they travel on the freeway. So, for instance, take a guy that's 60, he's going about 40, exactly. Take a kid that's 17, he's going well, faster, I guess, is what we're looking for. And then carry the 1. 83. Sign outside said, "Come laugh, not come do math." I'll tell you this is a little warning I like to give in my show. I like to travel and everything, but you need to be aware of things when you travel. I was in a hotel in Idaho. They had a flyer in the hotel room for pizza delivery. On the top of the flyer it said, "Delivery guaranteed, or your order is free." That's kind of what I was thinking. If I order a pizza and it never shows up, I'm not going to mail him a check. Hey, tip the driver. I know he meant well. Besides, what do you put in your checkbook, you know? Pizza delivery attempted. I don't, you know. I did this too. I like to travel. I like to travel around on things so I can check out different various stores and see different advertisements and so forth. I was on a bus one time, standing there. One of the bus stops, a guy comes up behind me and says, "Hey, can I sneak past you?" I'm like, well, not anymore. Might have had a shot at it a second ago. Feel like kind of an idiot. Then I'm standing there at another bus stop. I'm just kind of standing there in the corner, and this little kid is speaking French. And I'm thinking, wow, what an amazing language. It's so romantic, and I just felt like such an idiot because I could only speak English, you know? Just felt so demeaned or something, you know? And until the ice cream truck pulled up, and he had to point at everything he wanted. I never felt so proud saying the words, "Nutty Buddy, please." I like animals too. Give you a little warning about animals. They can be very hard to figure out. Sitting on my couch a few months ago. This is when I lived indoors. That's actually more true than it is funny, but I got evicted from my apartment and actually lived in my car for a while. 1987 Chevy Celebrity. Folks, let me tell you, you don't feel like a celebrity when you wake up in one. Anyway, I'm sitting on my couch, I'm blowing up this balloon, I'm like, all of a sudden I hear this splash from my fish tank. I look over, my blowfish has exploded. Yeah, I had no idea that blowfish were that competitive. Thank you so much. That is my all-time favorite joke in the whole world. I appreciate that. Oh, you don't have to clap now just because I'm forcing you. I only mention that because it's my favorite joke. You know, in some towns you go to, I was somewhere in Wisconsin, I hate to mention that, I know it sounds cheesy, but I told that joke, one guy, oh, I didn't mean that either, that was kind of, it's a little by making me laugh. I gotta pay the cover. No, but I told that joke and one guy actually looked up because it was dead silent. One guy looked up and he goes, "What? What's a balloon?" I ended up getting another blowfish, though. I threw him in the tank. He starts flailing around in a big panic. Guess I should have scooped the first one out. Well, that can cause a big shock to your environment, you know. Like if you guys showed up at your first day at the new school and all the kids were stuck to the wall, you'd probably flail around too, is what I'm getting at. I had a lot of fun in our family. We always had pets in our family. Very fun, very social family. Strict, but loving. And my parents were, they were kind of hard, but you know, sometimes that's a sense that your parents love you. And the holidays in our family were very warm and friendly, you know? Well, I'm saying you know, like you were there. That's right, Chard, we do know. But holidays were very fun. Like, for example, you know, every year we would get a Christmas tree, we would set it up, you know. Right after New Year's, I realized we were just taking our trees and throwing them in the trash. I started thinking, that's kind of a waste of a tree. What we should really do is take our trees and plant them in the yard. So I convinced our family of that, and for the last 5 or 6 years now, we've been planting our trees in a row along the driveway. And I think we're the only family on the block that has a row of aluminum trees planted. Actually looks pretty good next to our lawn of colorful Easter grass. You know, we used to make our own Christmas cards and mail them out. I still do that. One year, a guy says to me, "You know, Chard, you shouldn't have it say Merry Christmas. You should have it say Happy Holidays. That way you don't offend anybody." Which actually offended me. Because I'm thinking, if I really love Christmas so much, I'm going to mail out my own Christmas cards. And I'm going to put Merry Christmas on it, right? Right? Exactly. Like if one of my Jewish friends were to send me a card that said Happy Hanukkah, I'm not offended because we have different beliefs. I'm just honored that he included me in a celebration of something important to him. And I learned that from one of my atheist friends. Yeah, because he doesn't believe in anything. So he just mails out the envelopes. Now when I get his every year, I don't have to open it, I just hold it up to the light. I can't believe that. Hey, he's starting to rub off on me. My parents were actually Christians. Well, they still are. They're not converted. My dad's putting on a little weight, but he's not exactly Buddha. Yeah, that's funny, but if I were to say my mom, people would get mad, huh? I know, because that's how I originally wrote the joke. But no, my parents were Christians, very loving people, but it was always odd growing up in a Christian family. I was very naive. And my philosophy on the whole thing is that being a Christian doesn't really make me any different than any other performer, except I'm not afraid to die on stage. Well, actually, that happened a few years ago, but I'm born again. My mom was very strict, though. As a matter of fact, when I was born, she put me in a basket and sent me downstream. Folks, that's a Moses reference. Come on. Before we continue, how many people are familiar with God or the Bible? Just 1, 2. Perfect. If we get that up to 12, we'll hop my van. We'll go tell everybody. Who said bus? Yeah, I love my family, and I get some strange reactions though if I mention I'm a Christian when I'm traveling around the country, because that means different things to different people. Today, if you mention the word Christian, people freak out sometimes. Like, Christian? Those Bible-thumping, Jesus-freak, codependent, self-righteous, boring, goody two-shoe, hypocritical, sexist, pro-life, door-knocking, annoying, Branch Davidian, wacko, Waco, Rush Limbaugh watching, televangelist supporting, right-wing, conservative, closed-minded jerks.
No, I just love everybody.
I was actually doing a show one night in a comedy club. Lady was just drunk out of her head, sitting by herself. Who'd have guessed? There she is right there. I mentioned the word Christian. She freaks out. She actually starts flipping me off and booing me. Boo! Boo! Which I thought was very odd. Because that's her belief. That's fine. That's cool. But what a weird way to express yourself, you know? If a guy's on stage, he's talking about being Jewish, you don't hear from the back of the room, boo! We hate Jews! What's with all the candles and flat bread? Somebody mentions they're Hindu, you don't hear, boo! Get off the stage, you cow! And thanks for getting that, because that takes a knowledge of the two religions to think that's that funny. So, actually doing a show one night. After the show, guy comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, Chard, you're pretty funny for a Christian." Oh, really? Do you know a lot of Christians? Oh, yeah, I see you guys hanging out at the airport all the time. Big sheet wrapped around you, tambourine, woo! Now I have to explain to him, well, actually, that's Krishna. This is Christian. They're two very different things. Then he starts asking me all the typical Christian questions, right? So now I have to kind of mess with him. Hey, Christian, huh? So, do you guys drink? Oh, no. See, Christians actually absorb all their fluids through the plants we eat. Well, do you guys have sex? No, we don't. As a matter of fact, Christians are neither male nor female. We're actually asexual and we breed like worms. Oh, well, do you guys party at all? Nope. Really? Like not even on your birthday? You don't have birthday parties? Nope. See, Christians believe that birthdays are evil. As a matter of fact, if you celebrate too many of them, it'll kill you. All right, well, rock on, dude. That was the reaction I got in high school all the time, too, because in high school, my dad was in the Navy, so we had to travel all the time. I went to high school in Hawaii, 4 years in Hawaii. I show up there, I know no one, and all my friends that I meet are into drinking and doing drugs. I'm totally clueless in the whole situation. And their whole motto basically was, well, if you're not wasted, then the day is. Which apparently is pretty funny when you're high. You could always tell the people in school they were getting high because they'd show up to school with little brownies in their lunch. They're walking around going, bake someone happy. You and Betty Crocker. And a lot of times that was the teachers. I went to high school too in the time when Nancy Reagan was telling everyone to just say no to drugs. See, that never made sense to me. Because I used to think, well, once you're already to the point where you're talking to the drugs, what are the chances you're going to say no? Very naive in high school, I had no idea what a bong was. I thought a bong was a musical instrument. I just figured all my friends were in the band. Go to the pep assemblies, where's the bong section of the band? And all my friends are behind the gym going, where's the cafeteria? Which again is pretty funny when you're high. So. I never actually smoked cigarettes when I was growing up. Marijuana either in my household, we weren't too up on that in our family. But my parents never let us smoke cigarettes, and their big excuse was, well, for every cigarette that you smoke, it takes 7 minutes off your life. I used to think, well, who comes to take those 7 minutes away? The Marlboro Man? And can he just take any 7 minutes he wants? I mean, there's no rule that says he has to take them from the end of your life, right? I mean, he could just snatch them right out of the middle of your day. So then what happens? You just pass out for 7 minutes? You just go into a coma? 7 minutes later, you wake up, you're in the middle of a conversation, you have no idea what's going on. That's why people say things like, you know, I don't remember you telling me that. And you're thinking, you smoker. I had a lot of fun in our family, though. I mentioned my dad was in the Navy, and he was in the Navy 31 years. Is this a big Navy town? I'm just kidding. That's right, Chard. Ships pulling into Maplewood every day. 31 years in the Navy. You know what my dad does to celebrate when he retires from the Navy? Took my mom on a cruise. Like, Dad, where's the logic to that? That's like a kid getting off work at Burger King and going, hey, let's have a cookout. We'll do it your way. We'll do it your way right away. My dad's actually watching a lot of TV now. He never used to watch TV. His favorite shows are the old Kung Fu reruns. He loves those shows. Which is okay, except that he's so obsessed with them that I flew home to visit him down in California where he lives. I fly there and I go, hey, Dad, can I borrow the car? And all of a sudden I hear this. Grasshopper. When you can snatch these keys from my hand, it will be time for you to drive. Then, of course, if you miss, you have to carry that huge cauldron of chili around the dining room. Get Hormel tattooed to the inside of your arm. I saw this in the news a little while ago. There was this guy, he's trying to rob this huge mansion. I don't know if you saw this huge mansion. Gets stopped by 4 teenagers and their dog. Did anybody see that? Because it looked really ridiculous. They're taking him away in the cuffs, and he looks over and he goes, yeah, well, I would have gotten away with it, but hadn't been for those meddling kids. And then in the background, you can hear this, See, that scares me, because some of you got the Scooby thing and didn't get the Kung Fu. Means that Saturday mornings around here are still a lot of fun, though, aren't they? You ever do this on Saturday mornings? You go downstairs, you get a big, huge mixing bowl, fill it full of sugar-coated cereal, eating it all morning long, and by about 11 o'clock in the morning, the roof of your mouth is all cut up and bloody. It's a big old flap of skin just swinging there. Parents tell you to go outside and do chores, you can't really talk back. What about this? You order a pizza, right? You wait for more than a half an hour for it to get there, if it ever comes. You take that first slice, go to pop it in your mouth, way too hot, but you go for it anyway. Now there's just cheese and skin just swirling around up there. See, you guys have done that, haven't you? What about this? You're eating Doritos, put your hand into a bag of Doritos, you're looking for that perfect triangle. You have to move all the parallelograms out of the way. You can't have those. Get that one that's not a rhombus. You pull it out of the bag, go to put it in your mouth, right in the corner of your mouth. Ow! See, I used to take the Doritos and I'd crumble them up and I'd put them in a bowl and I'd pour milk on them. What? That's breakfast and lunch right there. I started realizing as I was poor, if you cut meals out of your day, you can save a lot of money that way too. I actually survived for 4 days on 1 package of Top Ramen. Yeah, the 4th day was pretty exciting. That's the day I used the flavor packet. Yee-hoo, the noodles taste like pork. Yee. It actually gets you pretty lightheaded when you haven't been eating well. You're not eating well too, you get out of shape, and then nobody wants to date you. I just got dumped a little bit ago, and which is always embarrassing. But see, now I hate summers too, because every summer all my single friends just run off and get married. And 2 summers ago, that included my fiance. Very embarrassing, you know. I had to ask for the ring back. She said no. I said, that's not fair. Like, that would really work. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were playing fairsies. There you go. I hate getting dumped because you feel like an idiot. You know, you talk to your friends, yeah, she dumped me. She's seen other people while we were dating, and they're like, yeah, I know. What do you mean you know? Well, I thought you had a deal worked out. What kind of deal is that? Very embarrassing. I actually went with some friends of mine. You know, right after I got dumped, you know, a couple of my friends, we were just going through this depressing thing. We thought, well, let's just go out, have fun, go to a show. We go to this show. We're standing out in front of a place called the Jazz Alley in Seattle. And there's this really mushy couple right there in line, just making out in line, which is the last thing you want to see after you've been dumped, right? I mean, they're the kind of people that every day is Valentine's Day, you know what I mean? They just have to be in physical contact at all times. They have matching satin jackets with their nicknames on the back. Pookie, Lover, Sweetnie's, right here, you know. They start making out right there in line in front of me. I mean, they're just swapping spit, tongue wrestling, the whole 9 yards. They're going at it so hard, every once in a while, a head would disappear. I mean, they're cleaning each other like cats. And I'm getting kind of grossed out, right? So, trying to drop hints of the fact that people have gone in for the show, you know. So the first thing I did, I stood a little closer to him. You know how you do that? Huge mistake. Because now I've become part of this whole thing. It was bad enough when there was 2 people. Now there's 3 of us. Excuse me, but hey! Turns out to be an excellent show. We're leaving. A friend of mine makes a comment to me, and my friend's not that bright. I'll give you an example quickly. We're in a library one time. Very cute librarian. And I turn to him and I go, hey, dude, check out the librarian. And he goes, can you do that? So I always have to be a little on guard to begin with, but after the show, he says to me, he goes, you know, I couldn't play jazz like that to save my life. Which really bothered me because I kept picturing the situation where the ability to play jazz would save your life. I didn't think too much more about it. I started heading back to the car. All of a sudden, this huge guy steps out in front of me smoking a cigarette. Hey, kid, you play me some jazz or I'm going to kill you. All right. This is dedicated to you, big guy. Anyway, it just shows you we can do it under a little pressure. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know, the oddest thing about that story, too, is after a few minutes of that, he pulled a gun out of his coat and he said, that wasn't jazz, that was blues. Just before he pulled the trigger, he passed out. And I'm looking at him like, you smoker. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's my portion of the show.
You guys sick of me yet? I have to do this. Someone's got to keep the show together. I'm the fucking glue. This is the information. If you want to watch this program on public access, tune in to Channel 3 on June 26th or the 27th at 7 p.m. And you might see the back of your head. So. You put it on your resume. Back of my head. This next final actor, well, he's a comedian. He's I'd like to say we saved the best for last, but what we did is we saved the possibly most offensive for last. That's not true. He's non-offensive. But he's a crazy fucker. We were in Montana. We were staying at a friend of his house for a week, or trailer actually, and we were making omelets every morning, and I was taking the yolks out of my omelets because I was trying to eat a little healthier, and he would actually take my yolks and put them in his omelet. So he would have like a 4 egg white, 8 yolk omelet because he just doesn't seem to give a shit. So he's a good man. Ladies and gentlemen, the video and performance of Doug Stanhope. Doug Stanhope, ladies and gentlemen. Doug Stanhope, here he is.
Thank you. How is everyone? Everyone drunk yet? Need a smoke? They made my video the longest because I'm the filthiest and they want to get me off stage the quickest. Maplewood needs a dirty comic like you need a thalidomide baby and a circle jerk. So I'm just going to make this short and sweet. We had a great time. We appreciate you coming out and supporting this. We're all heading for Colorado next week. We're all loading up in my car and driving out. It should be a fun time. Chard and I are doing the Vail National Comedy Competition, or Comedy Festival. I did the comedy competition in March for big cash prizes. And I lost like a pig. Thank you very much. Thank you. They fucking hated me, ladies and gentlemen. But this time we're just doing it for fun. No cash prizes involved. So I just get to go out and have the same people that hated me last time hate me this time. But I still get all the pleasure of, $9 for a cheeseburger and eating it with a big pompous asshole skier, paying $250 for a fucking hotel room. Tom Bodette better wipe my ass for me, much less leave the light on and have money. I was out there in March. I spent $1.80 a gallon for gasoline. They couldn't put 10 cents of sand down on the road, skidding all over the place, bald tires, no insurance, no driver's license, every little Nazi GQ ski puke flashing his lights like I want to drive 20 miles an hour. Fuck you. If I go off the road, I can't whip out Daddy's Visa card and dial up AAA. I'm a comedian. I go off the road, I'm wearing a wig and a truck stop, hustling blowjobs for a bus fare. There's some old people here tonight that might not have drank for 60 years that'll be drinking tonight. I was in Vail, Colorado. This is true. They were skiing. I don't ski, but there was this woman skiing with a baby in a pouch on her chest, skiing down. Those mountains are huge. It's insane. That's sick, man. I'm pro-choice. You don't want to have a kid, don't have them. But don't squeeze them out and use them for a fucking airbag, It's child abuse. I swear, people squeeze out kids just to have weird shit to do with them. I went to a rodeo thing. It's like a little small-town freak show rodeo for the kids. And they were doing this thing called mutton busting. It was an actual thing where they were taking like little 8 and 9-year-old kids and they'd stick them on the back of a sheep. And then they kick the fucking thing. It goes berserk. Scares the crap out of it. They're crying. The kids don't want to be in a sheep. The sheep are rabid. They're everywhere. Probably because the kid's peeing down his back at this point. But the shit thing is their parents are watching this shit laughing their asses off. I think it's hysterical. The kids are fighting for their lives. Their parents are drunk. Go ride that sheep like Daddy taught you. Quit your crying. Be a man. It's your daughter. Shut up. My parents were strict, but they never pit me against livestock for kicks, People do some. So anyway, we're driving out there. We leave Monday, man. You guys want to come? There's room in the trunk. It's a great drive, too, man. I drove back from there. God forbid they should put a radio station anywhere between here and Denver, for God's sake. Driving across the Dakotas, you hit your scan button. It's like playing roulette without the ball. It just spins. It spins. You get a choice of static or National Public Radio. Let me flip a coin on that one. You're now listening to National Public Radio. We'll now go live to Liechtenstein for a concert from a cafe where Jans Chaska-Hanovanovanovitz is playing a dulcimer strung only with scrotum hair. This is National Public Radio. Don't fall asleep at the wheel. It's awful. I blew a speaker in my car today. That sucked. Yeah, he was a motivational speaker. Left a bad taste in my mouth, but I feel a lot more positive tonight. I'll tell you that right now. Relax. I just found out I'm gay last week in North Dakota. That sucked. I had no idea. Some guy in a bar told me. You're a faggot. Ah, shit. How am I gonna tell my dad? So enough breaking it to him. I was an asshole. He's gonna hate this. I think I shit from a guy in North Dakota for wearing an earring. You queer, somebody's got an earring. Some kind of queer wearing women's jewelry. Everyone in the world has an earring now. It's nothing. I know a guy who's got his lip pierced. He's got his schmeckle pierced, and he runs a chain in between them. I can jerk off just talking too much, but I'm some kind of freak for wearing an earring. It's ridiculous. We just did a show. We were just in North Dakota, man. Any state I can make a living hustling Scrabble. You do the scoring. Me and Billy ain't very arithmetic. We weren't even doing material in North Dakota. We're doing knock-knock jokes and shit for these people, limericks. They thought we were geniuses. I did that one about the man from Nantucket one more time, only slower, because my wife didn't get it. It's awful. We were there, and this is a true story. We were there last summer. They had the big state fair going on. They put an ad in the newspaper. They set up a trailer at the state fair to check for prostate cancer. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I want carnival workers checking my prostate. Walk in there, think it's just another Midway attraction, you know? Next thing you know, they got you pinned down with your pants at your ankles. You look behind you, it's the same guy that was running the tilt-a-whirl an hour ago. He's got a prison tattoo that says, "Fill to here." 5 tickets, please. Only 2 to watch. Come on in. Good time for everyone. They brought me to a Topless Bar in Bismarck. I give you a word of advice. If you're going to go to a topless bar, take a look around the town first. There's no one in the entire town you'd want to see naked. Chances are they're not going to be in the titty bar either. Because, you know, by applause, who's been to a topless bar at any point in your life for any reason? Oh, 3 people, yeah. Well, we're in Maplewood. It's a very good chance. You know, it's pretty stupid. You go and you stick dollars in a girl's G-strings. You pay too much for your drinks. It's pretty harmless. This place in North Dakota, it was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. For $1.25, you get a paper cup full of pellets. And the girls would lean right over the railing and eat right out of your hand. You could pet them and everything. It was the weirdest thing. It was all true. I walk into this place. The girl has a dancer's name is Chuck. If that's any indication. She walks out on the stage and this woman had this belly that kind of stuck out so the tits sat up on top of it and the G-strings wedged in the middle there. And she's out there sweating to the oldies or had a roll of fat on the back of her head, 1 tooth in her mouth. Wasn't even her tooth. It's like a Lee press-on tooth right in the middle of her face there. Just out there clammy and dripping sweat on you. I mean, you could take dollar bills and just slap them to her belly like a refrigerator magnet. Stick right on there, man. It wasn't even pornography, it was zoology. Tipping the girl in camel cash. So anyway, I got her back up to my hotel room and Now, later on, when she was beautiful, tequila. They have a topless bar in town that does comedy. Does anyone know about that? Mitch and I worked at it. It's at Sheik's in Minneapolis. We worked there. They have a comedy club in there. We're doing shows for 6 people every night. It's brutal. Because they say comedy's in a separate room there. So when people come in, they say, you know, do you want to see really beautiful centerfolds show their tits, or, you know, the weird guy in a Santa hat? Flip a coin. So we're doing shows for no one. And I worked the whole week there. And the last night I'm in there, a buddy comes in and turns me on to this drug, ecstasy. I know a lot of you older folks are hip on this, but for my friends who've never heard of drugs, I didn't know what it was either. I said, well, what is it? He said, well, Doug, it's illegal. So I did it. And he goes, yeah, it makes you really horny. You son of a bitch. I'm working here looking at the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. They won't even talk to me. I haven't got laid in 3 months. My morning boner's running a 24-hour cycle for the last week. I don't need to artificially induce being horny. It's the longest night of my life. I did shit to myself that night I've never done to a woman. The maid comes in the morning, everything's covered in cooking oil, there's a porno going, there's a melon with a hole drilled in it. What's that for? I had a little luau. You need more smut in this town. Not Maplewood. This is a big smut capital. Drive-bys, muggies. Yeah, no shit. I went into an adult bookstore in Minneapolis, right downtown. It's called Sex World. Now I know why they call it Sex World. Because they can't name it Things That Fit in Your Ass. I knew that joke wouldn't work, but... The other guys, they put thought into my material. My act is basically talking about my dick, you know. So I'll never refer to myself as an artist. People come to see me to see art like I go to a titty bar to appreciate dance. There's no art involved. And besides, Minnesota, I've been in 49 out of 50 states, and I swear, Minnesota people are, without question, honestly, the nicest people anywhere in the country. Don't clap, because honestly, it drives you out of your fucking mind after a while if you're not from here. I just want somebody to flip me off. Be mean to me, you know? Lock your brakes up in front of me. Just let it out of your system, for God's sake. You're gonna explode. I walk into a restaurant out here, you know, I say, where's the restroom? Sit down, I'll draw you a little map. There's a couple of ways you can go there. You go over by non-smoking, cut down by the counter, that's all. I'm gonna piss my pants here. Oh, don't worry, my brother's a dry cleaner. We'll help you out there. Yeah, and your mother's a whore. Oh, I thought she's a librarian. I should call more often. Have a nice day. Nicest people anywhere. And the whitest people you'll ever see in your life, too. I was at Phelan Lake today handing out flyers for this show. I swear, some of those people will burn their retinas right out of your fucking eyes, man. One Minnesota winter will suck every ounce of pigment right out of your body. It's incredible. You people could suntan just looking at a Japanese flag. Sunblock just to do it with the lights on. I was here in March and I had just come from Hawaii, so everywhere I went, I had a great tan, and walking around in Minneapolis, I was some kind of deity, you know. I'd have packs of pale, clammy children just follow me around, try to touch me. Tell us about the sun. Awful. I was sweating, man. We're out at the Mall of America, man, shopping. You guys want to have fun shopping? Want to see a sales girl sweat? Go in the dressing room. After about 5 minutes, yell out, "Hey, there's no toilet paper in this stall." There you go, man. We're all going to go out and drink like pigs tonight. You guys are more than welcome to join us. We'll be out in the lobby. Try to get the weird guy in a Santa hat late night is the topic here. Did you ever go through the personal, what's that, the city pages you got here? Did you ever read the personal ads looking for a date? People in personal ads are pretty fucking picky for people advertising in a newspaper for a date, aren't they? Did you read these things? I want a non-drinker, non-smoker, over 6 feet tall, 6-figure income, Christian, no children, 30 to 35, no drugs. You read their description. I'm a 3'9" bar hag from Rochester with 2 teeth and an extra head growing out of my sternum. Nice eyes, just lift the patch. Ew. No way. I go through the personal ads on the bathroom walls from here on in, you know. They're simple and to the point, you know. Sally sucks dick. Fine. Dinner's on me. Thank you. You guys have been a lot of fun. We appreciate you supporting us. Let's bring Mitchell and Hedberg back out and Jana Johnson.
All right, that's the end. Thank you very much for coming, and I just want to thank Doug Stanhope, Brian Malow, Chard Hogan, Tim Schlecht, and Mitch Hedberg. They're all coming up. Thank you guys very much. Come on out, guys. Come on, Schlechty.